Good afternoon and welcome to State Newsfile. I'm Ray LaHoo. Etienne Monroy will have sports coming up, but first, let's check in with Tanner Strauss with the weather. Tanner, how is it out there?
Well, Rhea, I'm really happy to see my friend the sun hanging out with me here today. Currently, it is -10. That is our high for today. So unfortunately, our day is just going to be getting colder as it comes to an end. Our high last year was 0 degrees, but only 2 years ago we saw a high of 12 degrees back in 2017. That would have been nice. 1923 though, -39. I'm pretty happy with my -11 to be honest. There is an extreme cold warning for most of Alberta, but I'll talk about that later. Rhea?
Yes, that does sound very cold and I'm very sick of this weather,
Yep.
But E.T., happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, thanks.
And I heard on the court, NBA, things are heating up.
It's heating up. We got some NHL, we got some NBA action, of course. The Trojans.
We have
to have
we
Trojans.
can't forget about the Trojans.
A little bit later, we'll have some on that.
Perfect. As Tanner was saying, our weather has perked up a bit with temperatures rising out of the bitter deep freeze. But when the temperatures do rise, that can also cause some problems. Cindy Lettick has been covering this story for us and joins us from outside the Burns building. Cindy, water problems hit very close to home for us here today at SAIT.
That's right, Rhea. Actually, it's quite a mess here at the SAIT campus in the Senator Burns building. A water main burst this afternoon in the building, causing water problems on all 4 floors. The water actually managed to damage some of the building's electrical systems. It also meant students had to be evacuated from the building for about 20 minutes. And right now, cleanup is underway.
Cindy, this is just one of the many problems around the city because of these very cold temperatures.
That's right, Rhea. The city is still cleaning up today after a major water main break in the northwest community of Confederation Park, which is actually just north of our campus. Residents of the community were rudely awakened yesterday morning when water started flowing down the street and into their homes. The flooding was caused by a water main burst in an alley behind a few houses. Fire crews helped residents out by clearing up some of the snow, but then most of the damage was already done. Some residents had water inside their homes and have some serious and costly repairs to cover.
It probably means ripping up the entire floor because there was a centimeter of water. Our freezer is plugged in halfway up the wall and there was water in the socket. So I'm imagining that we'll have to tear out some drywall and replace that as well.
And the City of Calgary is reminding homeowners to make sure they keep those furnaces on to make sure they don't have any pipes burst in their homes.
Try to stay dry out there. Cindy Lettick reporting from outside the Burns building. In just the last 10 days, there has been several incidents like this in the SAIT area. There was a major leak at the UFC. Also, the Earls restaurant across the street had a major kitchen cleanout after a pipe burst there. With oil prices low and many Calgarians feeling the effects of the blow to the energy industry, affordable housing is scarce. The City of Calgary is taking steps to help get the people into affordable homes. But as Danny Seymour reports, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Every single person in our community deserves a decent place to live.
Sure, people do deserve a decent place to live. But how realistic is a decent place to live in Calgary? According to Mayor Nenshi, apparently not very.
Calgary has the lowest amount of affordable housing compared to all of Canada's big cities. We're opening 48 units today. In order to reach the national average, we need to build 15,000 more.
The city opened a new affordable housing complex just off Bow Trail this week, and already the building is almost full. Even though the government has good intentions, most people can't feel the benefits of the good intentions yet.
There's no way that I would be able to afford anything reasonable. I have to be able to stay in Calgary, and it's hard to find a place to live that I'm able to live within my means and survive on a daily basis.
The average price for an apartment in Calgary is well over $1,000 a month. To get into the housing market, you're going to need more than $400,000.
Bryce is just one of many students who will graduate, need a job, and also need a new place to live. And even though the city is trying to help people in need of finding a home, the demand for affordable housing is still very high. For State Newsfile, I'm Danny Seymour.
After several pro-pipeline rallies across Alberta have taken place in the recent months, Calgarians had delays on Highway 1A this morning. A convoy of 150 trucks hit the road leaving Red Deer this morning around 8 a.m. The group made their way to Calgary near 10 this morning, coming in by Cross Iron Mills, although the trucks did not stop due to being in hopes of making it to Ottawa in 4 days to take a message to the politicians on Parliament Hill. As they travel east, hitting Strathmore, Brooks, Medicine Hat, and then Regina, they encourage other drivers to partake. As you can see in the map from Red Deer, the drivers left this morning. They're traveling east, and this is all happening because many Canadians have an issue with the current government system, such as oil and gas. Finding a parking spot at the West LRT stations can be really difficult. Calgary Transit is planning to increase parking spots on 69th Street and Sirocco stations to help with the high demand. As Brooke Botcher reports, the idea is getting mixed reviews.
Calgary Transit will soon be creating more reserved parking spots at the western end of the LRT line, including more free parking spots at Sirocco Station and more reserved parking at 69th Street Station.
I don't honestly mind the free parking versus the reserved parking purely because I come after 10 o'clock anyway, so there's no thing is reserved because it's only from 2 to 10, so there's no problem for me personally.
I think it's going to be pretty useful for the reserve parking and adding more free parking at different areas. Just since I drive and I do take the train, it should be more useful for everyone.
Ward 6 Councillor Jeff Davidson says that the supply right now for parking is huge in the area and hopes that the new parking spaces will help.
I live in this community and it's been growing lately, and so I've been noticing a lot of cars have been coming by, and it is an issue that needs to be addressed. And I'm really happy to hear that they're adding the reserve parking because it'll really help with this issue. Along with the free parking that's going over there, it's going to really be beneficial for this area.
Although many are happy with more reserved parking, some people don't like it. Many complaints were made about the lack of free spots, but many reserved spots not taken.
Always consider that other patrons might want to use the station without reserved parking, because the reserved parking is from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning. It won't be very helpful to you, so it might be good for people who might be commuting a lot, but I'm not sure if that's good for everybody.
The changes will be in effect on March 1st. For St. Newsfile, I'm Brooke Botcher.
International hackers are a big threat in Canada, but an even bigger problem is finding cybersecurity analysts to tackle these hackers. Storm Lenny is live from the newsroom. Storm, can you explain why there is such an urgency for cybersecurity experts in the country?
Well, Rhea, in Canada, there are very few colleges and universities that actually offer cybersecurity programs, which is what makes SAIT's program such a success. Canada is facing a serious talent crunch when it comes to cybersecurity professionals, with the demand growing 7% annually. 8,000 more cybersecurity workers are needed in Canada by 2022. There are very few programs that train students in cybercrime in Canada. This means that graduates from these types of programs are in huge demand around the world.
The federal government and provincial governments have made announcements that cybersecurity has become really important, in particular for critical infrastructure. So anything like electrical power, city utilities, and these are now basically under attack by foreign governments, and so that's a large part of the work. And in addition, there's been privacy issues for things like Equifax, so it's become quite important.
In 2017, SAIT introduced its new cybersecurity program to Calgary. The first graduating class from this program will be in June, and majority of the students have already received job offers.
We've already had the Communications Security Establishment, which is Canada's version of the NSA, has been here to do recruitment, as well as CSIS, the Canadian Security Intelligence Service. They've also been on campus a few times to do recruitment straight from the security programs and our IT programs, as they need individuals in there to help protect the country's interests.
Employers can't hire cybersecurity workers fast enough, and this industry is expected to continue booming. To qualify for this program, students already have to have an undergraduate degree. This is not something that someone can take right out of high school. Rhea?
Storm Lenny reporting from the SAIT newsroom. The cybersecurity program here at SAIT is one of the more competitive programs, but the job opportunities for grads are endless. Applications are open for this fall for all SAIT programs, including cybersecurity, but many of the IT programs are already full and students are being placed on the wait list. It is midterm season. That means a lot of stressful students are roaming state. There are many reasons why stress levels increase during this time, such as lack of preparation, style of study, and not enough support from their institutions. But here at State, there are tons of resources on campus to help students succeed during their exams. The only problem is that not many students are aware of them.
Promoted, like, the only reason why I know about like student development and counseling is because of my dad. He works here, and so he suggested that I go and speak to a counselor when I was really feeling stressed. But I think a lot of people don't even realize that those resources are available. So
student success is a priority here on campus, and SAIT is trying to encourage students to use the services available to them. Harsh winter conditions have been impacting Calgary since the start of the new year. But according to the City Council, the extreme cold hasn't changed the number of people who are riding on bikes. Louise Van Dam is covering this story for us and joins us from Kensington. Louise, I understand the city has been very positive about the ongoing bike lane expansion project.
That's right, Rhea. A report released by the city even said the same number of people riding bikes in the winter is the same as in the summer. But as you can imagine, there are some people on city council who are a little bit skeptical about these numbers.
What fake news is, that is.
Councillor Sean Chu has been very outspoken against the bike lane expansion project. He says the city is trying to reduce its environmental impact, but he doesn't believe this project will make a positive change.
You look at 12th Avenue. People tell me all the time, go to a hockey game, before 20 minutes, now an hour. What do? They sit in the traffic waiting. Cycle track go first. Everything cycle track, right? So you end up, you pollute more. Everybody waiting. It's no benefit.
Councillor Chu has also been outspoken about the addition of a bike lane on Northmount and Northland Drive. The city's transportation planner says these changes are all part of a bigger plan for students and young people living in the area.
Northland is a bit of a kind of secondary connection to our network that we're trying to develop, but it is directly north of U of C, and so it is a key connection that maybe not everybody's aware of, because when you kind of take the corridor south, motorists have to get onto Crowchild, but there is a pathway connection that leads you down to U of C and 37th Street Northwest. And it's something that we're piecing our network together. It takes a long time.
The city is definitely built for automobiles, but Thifter says the city's goal is to give Calgarians complete cycle networks as an alternative to driving. I don't know about you, Rhea, but it's definitely cold out here, so I'm not feeling very keen to be biking right now.
Louise Van Dam reporting live from the Kensington area. Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast for you after the break. But first, Tanner Strauss has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
The city will be nice and bright as Glowfest YYC kicks off tonight. There will be many different light displays throughout the city, and it will be taking place in downtown starting this evening, and all ages are welcome. If you've been missing out on the Penguin Walk, don't you worry. You will be able to see these little guys wobble their way through the zoo until March 31st. All ages are welcome, and you can check online for available times. If you enjoy those smashed grapes, feel free to come on down to Winefest starting this Friday at the BMO Center. You can sample and buy many wines from around the world, but make sure you don't take it too far. This event is 18+. If you want to take it back to the 90s, why not stop on by Rewind Back-to-Back this Saturday at the Palace Theater for lots of throwback music and fashion. This one is also adults only. After having a busy weekend, why not take it easy and come visit some cute animals at Northland Mall for Little Ray's Wildlife Festival, including sloths and more.
The Alberta Animal Rescue Crew Society is focused on rehabilitating animals. Changing the lives of these animals through kindness is the vision and the passion. ARCS is designed as an emergency and quarantine shelter to help animals get back into the world. Animals are an important part of all communities, and ARCS works to create a safe world for these beautiful creatures. Help ARCS help animals by giving them a loving and respecting home. To find out more or to donate, visit arcs.ca.
just that easy.
Visit our website today.
If you live in Western Canada just like us here at SAIT, it's going to be a very, very cold weekend. Let's take a look at that west here. In Vancouver, you can see they are under a snowfall warning. Only -2 though, not too bad. Coming back over here towards Edmonton though, it is cloudy, -24. It is going to be getting really cold in Alberta. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Regina is the cold spot today, -34. They got some cloud and some sun, but they're not seeing any snow right now. But again, it will be getting colder as we come in. Winnipeg at 19 and some sun. Let's take a look at the east. Toronto, -1, cloudy. Not too bad though. Coming up, Montreal, Halifax, and the other place is all sunny. It isn't going to be too bad though. -5, -1, not too bad. Again, there is still that sun there, so it's nice to see that. And if you do want to get some real sun, why not check out the resorts? Palm Springs is seeing some rain, but they will stay warm. Barbados is today's hotspot at 29 degrees. Cancun is cloudy, as well as Honolulu. Orlando will be a great place to tan with a nice and sunny 23 degrees, and I wouldn't bet on Vegas getting any better, as they will be seeing rain all week. Today in Calgary, high of -10. It was really sunny out all day, which is really nice here in Alberta. We get a lot of that sun. There was a slight wind though, about 2 kilometers an hour from the southwest. And what's next? Unfortunately, it is snow. So let's take a look at that provincial. As you can see here in Alberta, everywhere is cold. Minus double digits everywhere. Up here, Grand Prairie, lots of snow. That is a cold front coming out from the top all the way down into lower Alberta here. And Alberta is under an extreme cold warning everywhere but Calgary, which is lucky for us. But again, it is still really cold here. But we do get a lot of that sun. You can see the sun is everywhere. But this weekend coming up, that sun will not be as good. Let's take a look at the 5-day as well. 5-day tonight, -20 as we come in later tonight. Tomorrow, we can be expecting some snow. High of -17. That is going to be cold, cold. Saturday, -22. Sunday, the same. And Monday will be sunny and high of 12. Now let's take a look at that snow report. Fernie is looking nice today. They have some nice packed powder. They haven't seen any snow in the last 24 hours, but they are still seeing a base of 230 centimeters. The current temperature is -12, but it is sunny. Norquay is nice and groomed and has seen a drop of 3 centimeters in the last 24 hours, with a good base of 87 centimeters and some sunshine. Kimberley is another nice and groomed run. They haven't seen any snow in the last 24 hours, but they do have a nice base of 125 centimeters and it will be a very sunny day. Sunshine will be our best spot today with excellent conditions and a nice base of 159 centimeters. They have seen a snowfall of 5 centimeters in the last 24 hours, and it will be sunny there all day. Lake Louise is nice and sunny as well. Their runs are nice and groomed throughout the resort. Their base is a solid 160 centimeters. They unfortunately haven't seen any snow in the last 24 hours, but they will be keeping up with that theme of a nice sunny day.
So, I heard you're a big basketball fan.
Huge.
Huge. And I heard there was also some pretty crazy games last night.
There was a crazy game in the NBA, and we'll get to that a little bit later in the cast.
But first?
Some Trojans.
Yeah.
Competition. We can't get enough of the word because it makes you push yourself to new heights. Our men's hockey team made a huge turnaround after starting the season on a 3-game losing streak. Nathaniel Maurice reports on how that losing streak lit a fire in the Trojans' dressing rooms.
When you compete, one thing is on your mind.
Championship or bust?
Championship or bust. Speaking like a true competitor who is willing to go the extra mile and ensure his name can leave a legacy for the Trojans. Heading into the last stretch of the regular season won't be easy for the men, as 5 of their last 7 matchups will be on the road. Zach McNeil has the scoring touch, notching 9 goals in 16 contests, and the last time the Trojans have failed to score less than 3 goals was back in early November.
When you look at this team, everyone in that locker room thinks this is the year. I don't, like you said, since November, going on 3 or whatever it was, we know that we can be the best, and that's what we expect.
The season is only going to intensify as the Trojans are playing 2 games against top-ranked Nate Oops. The Trojans are 4 points behind the Ooks. However, State does have 3 games in hand. Head coach Brent DeVoe is happy to be battling for first place, and he says his players make his job easier by working hard.
Whether that be training off the ice, whether it be every single practice that we have, we practice at a high tempo, we compete hard, and regardless of the scenario that comes up on the weekend, whatever the games might be, I think it's just how the guys train. And we train hard and we keep it going.
Zach McNeil says there's a competitive fire burning inside the men's locker room, and he is hoping that it can keep being lit up all throughout the playoffs. How lit up, you may say? Maybe just like a volcano eruption. From State Newsfile, I'm Nathaniel Maurice.
In the NHL, the Penguins increased their winning streak to 6 against the Oilers last night when both Crosby and McDavid are on the ice. Brian Russ, Teddy Bluger, and Jared McCann all scored as the Penguins picked up 2 vital points despite playing without suspended center Evgeny Malkin. For the Oilers, McDavid picked up an assist on Draisaitl's first goal but was otherwise held in check. Edmonton is off today and will be back in action tomorrow night against Carolina at 5:30. The Canucks were also in action last night, and they were facing the Ducks. Anaheim goaltender Kevin Boyle made his debut for Anaheim, and a fresh start was exactly what they needed after GM Bob Murray took over as interim coach after a 7-game losing streak prompted him to fire coach Randy Carlyle. The 64-year-old Murray had never coached professionally at any level, but got the response he had been looking for after Silverberg scored a goal just 6 minutes into the first period, which would ultimately give the Ducks their first win in 7 games. For our Trojans men's basketball team, winning is everything, but it needs a certain attitude with it. Basketball is about confidence and showing off your swagger to impress everybody around. Second-year guard Charlie Connor says during practice, it is like a war zone. He says the team reacts well to the intensity.
We really get it going in pregame, warm-ups and stuff like that. You know, we got leaders that come in dancing every now and then. You know, basketball's about having fun, right? So, you know, we want to have fun.
The Trojans hope to carry that swagger as they aim for a 3rd straight ACAC title. In the NBA, the Raptors are cruising, now winning 6 in a row. They're 7-3 in the last 10 games and are only 1 game behind the Bucks. They were in action last night against the Wizards, and a couple of unexpected players went off. Pascal Siakam had a career-high 44 points in last night's win. He's right up there for most improved player of the season. Siakam has more than doubled his average point per game this season, sitting at 16. Last season, he averaged only 7 points. Kyle Lowry had a double-double with a whopping 14 assists, and well, that's what he does best. And for the Wizards, well, they continue to suffer. Without John Wall and his solid big man at the 5, their playoff hopes are slowly fading. The NBA saw its first triple overtime game of the season last night in Cleveland. The Brooklyn Nets outlasted the Cavs 149-139. D'Angelo Russell led the Nets with 36 points, but the man of the match was their small forward, DeMarre Carroll. On a broken play, the ball landed on the hand of Carroll, who drained a 3 right at the buzzer to send the game into overtime, where the Nets ultimately outlasted the Cavs. The Cavs bench kept them in the game. Clarkson had a crazy stat line of 44 points right off the bench. And, well, same thing with Marquise Chris. He contributed to the loss with 23 points. The Nets are in a great position to make the playoffs, sitting in 6th in the East. And a LeBron-less Cleveland, well, better luck next year. And, well, that's a look at sports. What did you think? Triple overtime, we got some Trojans.
Did you watch the entire game?
I watched the entire game, and I watched the 2 games after that as well.
Okay.
And then I went to sleep, and I dreamt more about basketball, and I woke up.
Well, you woke up February 14th. Love is in the air, and the Calgary Zoo is having their own spin of Valentine's Day. More on that after the break.
The Calgary Humane Society shelters 5,000 animals each year, and it is our goal to find a home for each and every one of them. From dogs, cats, reptiles, and everything else, you're sure to find the pet that's right for you. Visit thecalgaryhumanesociety.ca for more information.
I gotta go now. I gotta get home. Gotta get them alive, so I'm not gonna drive stone. get on the phone to that Uber, take another puff to that dome. Maybe I'll call my homes up and save a few bucks. Even the bus will be better. The only reason I'm here is the decisions I made. Now I'm a veteran in the game. Don't be mad at a couple of bucks. If you can't afford a cab, man, I'll come scoop you up. Bottom line, just don't drive high. If you want to stay alive, you got to make decisions. One of them, getting home, make it your mission to keep living.
Love is in the air all over the city today, like I said, and people spend the day with their special someone. There are also some little guys at the zoo enjoying their Valentine's Day. Louise Van Dam reports.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Today is the perfect day to spoil someone you love. Here at the Calgary Zoo, the animals are also enjoying their special love-themed gifts. The penguin caretakers have spiced up the daily penguin walk with some roses and flower petals for them to play with. A yummy frozen treat for the otters has put them in an amazing mood. This little guy made friends with these two young brothers.
He really likes us, and he chases us a lot. We were trying to beat him some of the races. Yeah, pretty much. He was like, I'm going that way, and then that way, and then that way, and then that way. I think he's super fast. Otters can be fast in the water, and we're fast on land too. Even though otters are fast, like they're like a bullet, we can be fast too.
There's also some fun things happening this evening if you're old enough to come out and join them.
We also have In the Heat of the Night for Calgary Zoo, so that's a fun little couple thing people can get tickets for, and they can come in and eat and then learn about animals and their different mating habits.
Some of those mating habits must have been on the animals' minds today, with a lot of them showing off their assets. Mating season is just a month or two away.
Even if you don't have someone special to be spending Valentine's Day with this year, you'll still love seeing these animals here at the zoo enjoying their special gifts. For State Newsfile, I'm Louise Van Dam.
That is absolutely adorable. I've actually never been to the zoo, but some animals at the Vancouver Aquarium are more happy to spend Valentine's Day with their significant otter.
Otter.
See what I did there? Well, that was absolutely adorable.
That was very
The music
adorable.
made it so much better.
Is that what you do on Valentine's Day?
Oh, I roll in the snow. So Tanner, it is going to be cold. It's going to stick around for the next couple days.
Yeah, unfortunately, this weekend we will be seeing some flurries. It's going to be pretty cold starting tomorrow. Tomorrow, that snow is going to be hitting. We're only going to see a high of -17, which is not very good. Throughout the weekend, it's going to be snowing pretty much all weekend. We won't even be seeing some sun again until about Monday, which is unfortunate. So it's going to be cold-hearted Valentine's Day, just like me, cold-hearted.
Oh.
Oh.
No, you're not, Tanner. You're the biggest
He's
teddy bear
not.
we know.
No. Well, thank you for watching. I am Ray LaHoo, Tanner Strauss, ETL Monroy. You can find out more at media.sate.ca.
Nice day. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.